Good relationships keep us happier and healthier. All right. So being alone and being casual is not promoting as much happiness as having good relationships. And understand, let me make a caveat right off the bat. I'm all about sex, and I'm not for, I'm not sitting here promoting some weird old world value of, I don't know, women being arranged marriage off to other people and, beaten to death if they don't keep their virginity, like stupid stuff. We're not talking about that, okay? Because people are so extreme on the internet. But we are just analyzing this stuff because what happens today in the dating marketplace, all right, and how can we apply what's going on today to protect ourselves as men and for women to protect themselves too. And you can protect your choices and also make better choices for you, right? How can we do that with the way that things are now, not in some fantasy mystery land where women don't have sex till marriage and marriage never divorces and like all that stuff, okay? So we're not talking in like bullcrap fantasy land here. We're going to deal with the reality, and we have to deal with the reality of how our brain functions and what the neurochemicals are doing. We're talking about brain molding. Okay, so neurochemicals, it's not like they run out. It's not like, oh no, I ran out of dopamine, better go to the gas station and give myself more dopamine. It's not how it works. You replenish that stuff with rest and nutrition. That's fine. You'll replenish oxytocin too. And so we talk in shorthand. I've talked about your oxytocin responds less. And then I think people misinterpret that, like, and then look at other data and go, well, you don't run out of oxytocin. Women get mad, like, no, that's not true. Okay, but it's not that you run out of the neurochemical. It's just that the neurochemical response is compromised due to brain molding. So you end up instilling different responses. Now, is this a permanent problem? Well, for some people it is. Why? Because they're just unable to change. They're unable to make adaptations and adjustments, and they're either unwilling or just unable to. There's definitely a capability problem. There probably is a genetic component as well. There's going to be some women and some men that are more apt towards promiscuity, and some that are more apt towards, trying to bond with one person. Okay. And we'll try to do monogamy or some level or some form of it, right? More serial, get in a relationship, doesn't work out, and then take a break, and then go to another one, that kind of thing. That is probably due to genetic wiring, which way they're going to get pushed towards. But we have epigenetics as well, which is the environmental stimulus to stimulate the drives. And arguably anyone is capable of running through a bunch of partners or capable of sticking with one partner, getting your sexual needs met there, at least in the start, okay, of their sexual coming of age. What happens is a bunch of things, okay, a bunch of behaviors, a bunch of experiences. Those experiences start to stimulate the functioning of the brain on an epigenetic and neurochemical level. It's a Russian roulette. There's no test to be able to tell whether you run through a bunch of partners and simply can't be monogamous and simply can't have a relationship without blowing it up on yourself, right? Who knows, right? I mean, is that you? Are you genetically pointed towards that? I don't know. All right. You don't know either. Nobody does. Now, the effects are greater on women than men. That's what women don't like to hear, but we'll get into that too. All right. But what's the point? Why get in a relationship at all? Who cares? Why not just run through a bunch of girls, right? Like, why not just be a freaking playboy until you die? Well, I mean, it's a good question. Well, in a rare project spanning across generations conducted by the Harvard study of adult development, okay, it was like 724 men's lives were tracked over 75 years. The clearest message that came from a 75-year study was that good relationships keep us happier and healthier. All right. So being alone and being casual is not promoting as much happiness as having good relationships. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean one partner for life? Well, not necessarily. Does that mean maybe you have a partner and that relationship ends at some point? You're sad for a year, you get another one. It doesn't matter. But the point is that the quality of your relationships, okay, with a romantic partner was a clear marker for reports of happiness and success. Women tend to do a lot worse alone at 75 years of age, for example, or even 65 years or even 50 years a lot of times than men. They tend to do a lot worse, okay? Men can do better alone, but that doesn't really, on a statistical level, promote happiness. Now, they're outliers. They're individuals. You live your life the way you want. I'm not here to tell you how to live it, okay? You decide what your goals are. I'm just here to help you get there as long as you're not hurting other people in the process. But that's just what the data says in general. And then the other thing is, too, not everybody is a Chad. Not everybody's going to have that sexual access. Not everybody takes my pickup course or my mastermind program. All right. Sorry, I got to shamelessly plug it. So, not everybody can just go out and run through a bunch of girls necessarily. We know it's a smaller percentage of men that are capable of doing that. And that are even wired to do that. And when I get a new person who wants to get better with women, get better at sex, get better in possibly getting a good relationship, I'm not trying to change them and make them like a guy who's going to run through 100 girls in 6 months to make sure his pickup skills are good. That's not my goal. Okay. I'm not here to change somebody and how they fundamentally want to be. Again, I'm just here to help you guys get to your goals. But in order to get to your goals right, you need to know the data. And what I do find is most guys, even the guys who are, trying to run through a bunch of girls, they want a relationship eventually of some kind. Okay, they want some kind of relationship. You at least want options. If you're 20-something-year-old guy who's trying to make his way in the world and you're like, I don't want to have a relationship yet because I really need to, work on myself. That's fair. But you may change your mind when you're 35, when you're 45. See what I mean? You want to have the option. And same with the girls too, like, hey, I'm young, I don't want a relationship, blah, blah. I'm going to try to work on my career and, screw my life up. Whatever. I'm going to go to parties and screw myself up. That's fine. Whatever. That's what you want to do. But here's the problem with that, though. You limit your options for later, right? What you think guy or girl wants at under 25 years old isn't going to be the same thing you might want from age 30 till 80, 90 before you finally kick the bucket. Your goals tend to stabilize and you tend to be more clear on what you want. Someone aged 20 to 25 is going to change their goals a lot more than someone between age 35 and 40. And that includes relationship goals and women goals and all that stuff, right? So it behooves you to not damage your abilities to get what you want for most of your life by doing dumb shit, when you're younger. Okay, right? I mean, that's it. And this could go for anything. Blowing through a bunch of drugs and partying probably screws your neuroreceptors up and is going to make it difficult for you to stay focused on task and increase your wealth. Maybe not. You got the Jordan Belforts of the world that did it just fine, but he was able to do it. But you might not be able to because there's a genetic component that you can't predict. Why are you playing Russian roulette, right? Don't do it. Stupid. But anyway,